Hello and welcome to the show. Listen, I'm so glad that you could join us today. Listen, the show is all about new beginnings. If you have something that you'd like to share with us, you can go to info@tammymccountry.com. But we're talking about new beginnings, and what better way to start out the year? Start out, as we say, this month, and talking about new beginnings. This week's guest is Mr. KJ Chamness. He is the suicide prevention specialist, and he's also the fire. And I'm going to have him talk about that as the safety technician. KJ, I got it right. So anyway, just sit back, relax, and enjoy because it's coming up next.
The Cecil Williams South Carolina Civil Rights Museum is the Palmetto State's first and only museum. It honors a generation of people, black and white, throughout the state of South Carolina who deserve to be remembered for their unselfish commitments and sacrifices. Enjoy an immersive and entertaining virtual tour. For more information, visit www.cecilwilliams.com.
Hello, everybody. It's Finkley of the Michael Finkley Show, and you're watching Gold right now. Why? You're watching The Tammy Show. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the show. Listen, I'm so glad you could join us. I always tell you, please pray for our folks all over the world because we've had all these fires, earthquakes, mudslides. I mean, you name it, hurricanes, and it's happened. And your prayers, please. And let's try to support them if we can. All right. So today's show, as I told you, I'm excited about it because this gentleman has been on the show before, and this was like way last year. And so he's coming on and he's going to talk to us about suicide prevention because this is Suicide Prevention Month. But he's a firefighter. He's from Wisconsin. He's the founder of Chamness Corporation and Foundation. Want to introduce you to Mr. KJ Chamness.
Hey, how you doing?
All right. How are you, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Listen, I introduced you as you say, DA. Now, that's a low country thing. When you say that means the suicide prevention specialist and the safety technician. KJ, how have you been doing since I saw you last year?
Man, I've been doing pretty good. I mean, I was going through a little rough patch a little bit, but I got out of it, and now I'm starting to get back on track and still help the community.
Well, that's the important thing. As long as you're able to help yourself and at the same time be able to help the community. Let's talk about KJ because I know you're from Wisconsin, but tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, yeah, I'm from Wisconsin. I have a twin brother. His name is Andrew. Unfortunately, he got the height. Okay. I don't know why, because he don't play sports at all. But I'm heavy on helping the community and giving back, which is why I started my agency and corporation. So now that's mainly priority what I do. I am going to be getting another job, but I only have that till the end of this year. And then it's mainly just going to be my company and then firefighting or EMS. And what I'm working up to doing with my bachelor's for Homeland Security is making a fire department where I respond to any type of natural disaster, because that's what I really want to do.
Wow. And, I just finished talking about all these disasters that we're seeing all over the country. And I saw you shaking your head. I mean, when you talk about earthquakes that, 6.9 plus earthquake and all of the people, the 6,000 people that were buried, that are being buried. I mean, when you say natural disaster and what you're doing, I commend you for that. What influenced you to do what you do?
Honestly, it was me being in foster care. Because when I was in foster care, they split all of us up. And I didn't really like that. And then I somehow got reunited back with my twin. And then from there, I got reunited with my younger sister, and then we all got adopted. And then growing up, I just realized that there's not enough support or community help for victims of crimes or just anything in general. So in eighth grade, me and my friend Andrew Williams, we were walking home one day, and I'm just like, I want to start something where we can help victims. So, and that's how this all formed.
Okay. And so when we talk about suicide prevention, what made you decide to become the suicide prevention specialist?
So in 2013, I went to Lincoln Hills. Then my time while I was in Lincoln Hills and working there and everything like that, I've noticed there was a lot of teens that were troubled and they had a heavy heart. And some of them they ended up trying to commit suicide, and I happened to see that, and then I don't know, something just clicked to me, and I couldn't let somebody so young just try to end their life. So then I started working with those teens and mentoring them, and then I got a mentor myself, and then from there I really grew as an individual, and then I started helping even more, and then I just became known as somebody that was great at cleaning, and that really cares and does suicide
You know,
prevention.
yeah. KJ, when we talk about suicide, because this is September is Suicide Prevention Month, what are some of those signs that folks can be looking at? Because you said that you had a lot of troubled teens. What were
Yeah.
some of those signs?
So some of the signs are just the fact that people are like closing themselves out, if that makes sense. So they're there, but they're not really there. But one of the other signs is people start giving their favorite objects away to people.
Hmm. Okay, we're having a few difficulty moments right now, some technology. So, KJ, we are not able to hear you. You're still talking, but if you would you come out and come back in if you can hear me? And then that way, Tiana and Willie, you can work behind the scenes and work on that. But, as we were talking, folks, this is suicide prevention a month. And I did want KJ to come on because he's been dealing with teens and because he deals in the community with folks who have tried to commit suicide. I always look for those shared messages of hope. And when we have those shared messages of hope, somebody may be watching today that may be going through something and may think that there's no way out, but there is a way. And KJ, you're back with us. That's great. We were talking about. Can you hear me, KJ?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great, great, great. As I was telling the viewers, I wanted you to come on because you've been working with teens and you've been working in the community with folks that have tried to commit suicide, and
Yeah.
you've been able to mentor these young people. And so we were talking about those signs, any warning signs that you may have. And I've had two people in my family, in particular,
Okay.
that committed suicide, and there were no real warning signs, at
Yeah.
least until we go back and we say, oh, yeah, that happened, this happened. So talk about that.
Yeah, so what I've realized is when back I think last year or the year before, some teens actually started committing suicide more in my area. And I didn't like that because being who I am, I just felt like I should do more. So then I started building my brand more and making business cards, passing out, leaving flyers on door handles and stuff like that. And then boosting my agency page. Um, but through that, I was able to start working with more families because when people started committing suicide, I started going to their wakes and their celebrations of life. And then through there, I would start handing out cards and giving my numbers and talking to the family, stuff like that. I'd always speak when we were allowed to speak. So I'd come up there and speak and say my piece and let them know that there's other people in the community that care, that particularly may not even know you. And
Mm-hmm.
my captain, well, my lieutenant, he came with me too. So some people got to meet him. He was going to be here, but unfortunately, he isn't today. Um, so, I mean, the signs that it varies per person, if that makes sense, because
Right.
some people they're always distant. So with them, it's kind of harder to just like know because they're keeping themselves back.
Mm-hmm.
Um, But with that, I mean, there still is some signs. They'll let certain things be known, like whether they have this one friend or anybody like that. They may tell you, or they may
Mhm.
start making posts on social media. Hey, I'm really sorry for this, and that, and I really wish my life would have been better, and all this other stuff. And they're low key hinting at it. They'll use certain descriptive words to where they're hinting that they may not
Mhm.
want to be here any longer, or they're going to do something to hurt themselves. So
Right.
one thing that you really have to do um, is just pay attention to how they word stuff and phrase stuff, because that's one of the key things.
Right.
I
And no, go ahead. I'm sorry. Hmm.
Oh, no, that was it.
And KJ, I was listening to you. You said that in your area, there were a lot of teens in your area that committed suicide. What were some of those common factors as you go back and you think about what was going on during that time? Was there any common factor among those teens?
So I mean, the common factors is some of them just weren't being accepted. Um,
Ah,
they were getting turned down for certain things, and they just felt like it was the end of the world. They didn't
mm,
really have that right support system, which I mean, in every home there's always some type of broken connection, broken link, anything like that. So with that, they didn't have that support system they needed, or they may not even have a male figure in their life. So they really don't know, what to do, because times are getting hard. And I mean, yeah, you can go talk to your mom about stuff. You can talk to your sister, but will they understand?
right.
That's what it boils down to. But if you're getting denied, like one of the teens, um, he had a heartache. Um, he ended up losing a relationship with his girlfriend, and then he just kept getting turned down, and then he ended up choosing to end his life, and he really didn't
Oh,
tell
wow.
nobody. He just went and did it. So in those instances, it's kind of hard to know what's going on, because he's not really saying it, or if he's always in his room and distance, you really won't know.
What's going on?
Hmm.
And one of the things that I'm hearing you say, acceptance, but also that these young teens didn't know that there was hope. There
Exactly.
was, hope plays a big part in you knowing that there's the next step to get to, because
Hmm.
there's something over that mountain, over that valley. And a lot of young people today, I'm seeing, they just don't have hope. They just don't feel that there's any hope in sight.
Yeah, and that's the hard thing, because I mean, like, I started boosting my agency page on Facebook and letting people know that, hey, there is hope. Um, if you need somebody to talk to, I'm not gonna be your therapist unless you want me to. I can try my hardest to be. I mean, I don't have that certification at this moment, but eventually I'll
Mm-hmm.
have that. And my dog will too. I'm gonna get him trained as a therapy dog, so I can
All right.
help more people. But um, I don't know. It's just sometimes it's tricky, only
Mm-hmm.
because if you're not real close to that person, sometimes you don't know, and even then, sometimes you're close, but they don't want you to know, because 9 times out of 10 they don't want you to know. Like back in 2018, I was actually considering ending my life. So I
Mm.
made a post on Facebook, and I was apologizing, and I was telling everybody what's going on. That I just didn't feel like there was nothing here for me, because I keep on just running into obstacles and just getting hit with obstacles left and right. It wasn't helping
Mm-hmm.
my case. And then my aunt, she happened to see it 45 seconds of my post, and she called me and she's like, listen, take that down now. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I was trying to act like there was nothing going on. um but yeah, she made me take it down, and then she made me come over, and we got to talking, and I don't know, it just kind of hit. And then
Mm-hmm.
I sat there with her and my uncle, and we had dinner that night, and everything just kind of clicked into place. And then I'm like, well, you know what? Maybe I can't really do that, because, well, then I'm hurting myself. But not only that, I'm hurting everyone else that's in my life, whether it's people that I'm working with,
Mm-hmm.
or it's just people that know of me because of my agency and because of the difference I
Mm-hmm.
made. Because I mean, right now I'm internationally known because of what all I do. So I got people in other countries, like the Philippines, for instance. I'm big there, and I don't I don't really fully understand it, but I'm big.
Mm-hmm.
Add me on Snapchat and on Facebook. Hey, are you that guy? I'm like, what do you mean?
Oh,
That guy
wow.
cares about people and that helps them. Like, all right, yeah, I'm that guy. I'm that guy. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
I think that's pretty awesome.
That is. Well, listen, KJ, we're going to take a break and then we're going to come back. And when
Okay,
we come back, I want to talk about some of those influences in the environment or in your surroundings that can
okay.
increase the risk of suicide. Okay? All right, folks, we'll be right back.
The Orangeburg County Conference Center supports downtown Orangeburg and our surrounding communities. The 6,000 plus square foot space is ideal for groups of up to 400 people attending corporate meetings, conventions, workshops, and special events. Conference Center staff are inspired to ensure that everyone can enjoy the modern amenities. State-of-the-art ballroom that accommodates up to 400 guests banquet style and 430 guests theater style. A warming kitchen with hot boxes, ice machine, refrigerator, freezer, and counter space. A lobby that accommodates 150 guests with special events outdoors. The comfortable outdoor amphitheater has a video wall and seating. Adjacent to the amphitheater is 12,000 plus square feet of green space that extends events outside, plus complimentary on-site event parking and additional parking across the street. Your event can take place all in one spectacular location. We welcome your special event in Orangeburg.
Greetings. This is Chief Bode, a gentleman Saray of the Government Nation of North America, and you are now tuned in to the Tammy Show.
And welcome back to the show. Listen, if you're just joining us, I have the pleasure to have a phenomenal gentleman on, KJ Chamness, who is the suicide prevention specialist. As we say in Gullah Geechee, da means the, T-H-E, the, but it is da. And so, KJ, welcome back to the show. Again, I want to thank you for being on the show and sharing your story, because as I said, we were going to come back and talk about some of those influences in the community that, increase the risk of suicide. But before I do that, I wanted to ask you, when you were talking about your posts of how you were thanking everybody and you had thought that those suicidal thoughts, when that came to you, did it register to you that, hey, I was getting ready to just call it quits?
No, at that time, I think like emotionally, I was like there ready to quit. So like I was trying not to, but then I just kept thinking what was going on and how I'm supposed to be a bad guy. But I'm like, all I do is help people. So like at the end of the day, am I really a bad guy? So
Mm-hmm.
then at that moment, I wasn't really registering nothing. All I knew was I wanted whatever I was going through to like stop.
To end. And then that's where I talk about that hope. But KJ, there are some other influences or things in our society, in our
Yeah.
communities, like drugs and alcohol. Do you think those alcohol abuse? Do you think those type of things influence or increase the risk of suicide?
So it most definitely can, mainly because with uh, with drugs and alcohol, you're you're more likely, in a way, I guess, to think irrationally. Only mainly because your mindset is clouded, because you have drugs and alcohol in your system. So, personally, I believe so. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, we're losing you, KJ. Okay, we lost the last thing that you said, KJ.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I believe that it does. The drugs and alcohol definitely have a play.
Yeah, and when it comes to treatments and therapies that are available for people at risk for suicide,
Mhm.
where do you send them?
So personally, me, because of my agency, I just keep it in house. And if I personally can't assist, then I'll reach out to like maybe the North Care Health Center. I'll talk to them, or I'll send people there. But the one thing that I found is when people go there, sometimes it doesn't help. Because the setup there is kind of like a jail or prison, so to speak. So you're in a room and you have doors that's locked or that lock, and you can't,
Mm,
and you guys all in certain areas of that building, you all sit around like one table and there's one TV in the room, or a day room, whatever you want to call it. So it represents a jail in certain sides there. And some
mm.
teams that I work with, they yeah, it didn't help them at all. Even their parents and family members, they had me come over to the house and they told me it didn't work. So I'm like, well, my approach is different because I'll do mentorship, and we'll go out kayaking, canoeing, we'll go hiking, we'll go to different events, stuff like that, so that they see that there's more to it than they think.
Right. And so you have a more holistic approach,
Hmm.
meaning you look at the person, the whole person, as
Yeah.
opposed to that person just being a body.
Yep.
You're looking for those things. And with you, and you correct me if I'm wrong, I know with your agency, you do let them know about the feeling of trust
Yep.
because they have to trust you, don't they?
Exactly. Yeah, they definitely do. You got to build a relationship with them and a bond, and you have to let them know that you're not the type that's just gonna leave. Because I mean, while I was growing up and I was in foster homes, you go through a bunch of different people. Like you don't have a set group. You can try to have that, but then you get switched to a different group home, or you get switched to and placed into some other foster home or different care, and with that, people just coming in and out of your life, it doesn't really help build bonds.
Hmm, hmm. Yeah, and that's the thing I think that's missing for some people. And
Hmm.
I don't know, but I know that from listening to people, the common factor is you don't have any, you really don't have anybody, and that trust factor is not there.
Yeah.
And that hope. So when we talk about that, what advice would you have for people with a family member who has attempted suicide or is having suicidal thoughts? What would you say to that family member?
So I would say that you gotta let them know that, you know, that you have them, that you got their back, but don't smother them though. If you smother them too much, that makes it harder, and that makes the situation worse because they feel like they're just getting clouded with all this love and affection. And at this time, that's not what they want. They need somebody that can try to understand them and that can try to work with them to get a better understanding, or a better approach, I should say, of said
Mhm,
situation or situations that they may be going through.
mhm. So I want you to share your message of hope because some folks may be listening and may be dealing with either suicidal thoughts or they may know someone. So please share your message of hope with them.
So, my message of hope is that everyone deserves to be their best, no matter what, no matter who they are, what they went through, or anything like that. You deserve to be at your best. And my motto is I'm that one person here to help you. I don't care what you did. I don't care, how you're living, like your living conditions. I don't care, none of that. At the end of the day, they need to know that someone else is there that cares. And I care about everybody. I don't care if you did me wrong or anything like that. I'm gonna look past that. I'm gonna help you out. I may still be mad at you, but I'm gonna help you out and get you to where you need to be in life.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's a great message of hope. KJ, as we're sitting here talking, I want you to kind of tell the viewers what you want them to glean from our chat tonight.
So from our chat, I really want people to understand that there's always hope. There's always somebody there that will be there, whether they're in your life or they're not in your life at said moment. All you gotta do is reach out. Whether it's you're trying to get some support groups, like I'm trying to get. Well, I can't say trying because I'm going to get nationally recognized as a national suicide prevention personnel here next month. I'll have that certification. So through that, I'm actually making an outreach task force for the community. That way I go ahead on and I can put up different like support groups or outreach task force for teens, juveniles, adults, anything like that. So that's what I really plan to do.
Yeah, wow. And I love that what you have been doing in the community and so young, to see a young Black man, African American man doing
Mm-hmm.
it in the community, but taking care of people, even after all you've been through. And with your story, foster care and being separated from your siblings, and then being able to be this bright light all over the world. I thank you so much for what you're doing. What's next for you, KJ?
So I was waiting to tell the public this and the world this. I actually got I can't say national. I got my instructor certification for basic life support. So I actually taught my first class this Monday. Um, I was really nervous, but they said I did really good. I shared all the facts, whether it was from me personally going out there and getting out in the community and helping different people, whether they're on the side of the road, because I'm big on that. If you're on the side of the road, you got your hazards on, and I'm passing, well, I'm going to turn around, come back, and I'm going to see what's going on, because you just never know. Somebody's having some type of medical emergency. You don't know what's going on until you get there. And 9 times out of 10, I'm going to stay there and assist you. And if I can't assist you, I'm going to call somebody that can, so that you can get back on the road or anything like that.
Wow. Yeah, wow. That is phenomenal. It's amazing at what you're doing there in your community. And just listen, I always say if there's anything that we can do here on the Tammy Show, all you have to do is just call us. That's all you have to do. So talk about the 3 words that describe KJ.
Let's say, I'm open-minded. I'm big on that. I'm optimistic and non-judgmental.
And say that, non-judgmental?
Yep.
Non-judgmental. Wow. Well, KJ, it was a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you for being on the show. It's always great talking with you, man. And you keep doing what you're doing.
I will.
I pray that God will continue to bless you.
Well, thank you very much. I pray that he does as well. It's for you.
Thank you so much. You take care of yourself, KJ.
You
And listen, folks, if you want to get in touch with KJ, you can go to his Facebook page, and if we'll show his Facebook page. And also, I know your Instagram is Keandre. So I did that as well. Yes. Yeah. Well, KJ, listen, take care of yourself. And as I said, and may God continue to bless you. And thank you again.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, folks, you heard it right here, Mr. KJ Chamness. I tell you what, this is a powerful young man doing it and doing it all over the world. The suicide prevention specialist. Thank you again, KJ. I want to thank all of my viewers for always tuning in to Tammy right here on the Tammy TV show. Listen, next week, we're going to be speaking with Sierra Taylor Cunningham, licensed professional counselor. She has a story to tell as well. And she's going to be talking about suicide and sharing her messages of hope with us. Thank you to my producers, Alicia, assistant producers, Tiana, Willie, and Felicia. I want to thank you all so much. Please remember, subscribe to the Tammy TV show on the YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. And thank you, Prince TJ. I see you out there. And so remember, folks, let's be a blessing to somebody today and every day, because you don't know what somebody's going through. Okay? Until the next time, take care of yourself. Thank you. Bye-bye. Coming up on the next Tammy, I'll be talking with Sierra Taylor Cunningham,
licensed professional counselor. Sierra's here to talk about her story, suicide prevention, and to share messages of hope. It's coming up on the next Tammy. That's the Tammy TV show YouTube channel, Thursday, 7 p.m. See you then.